We are going to a trial has started, and it only just started last week. So as there's more major, interesting developments in the trial, I'm sure we'll go back to talking about the trial. But since it just started, we figured it would be good to cover the background of this story. So it's in San Antonio, and this happened in June 2023. And a woman named Melissa Perez was killed by San Antonio police while she was in her own apartment. She had schizophrenia, and she was called because she was suffering through delusions. She thought people were listening to her. And when the cops wanted to talk to her, she ran into her own apartment, was refusing to cooperate, and she ended up brandishing a hammer at them while she was inside her apartment and they were outside the apartment. They could only see her through a glass window. There was a whole wall and door separating them. She came at them with that hammer. Again, can't emphasize enough. While she was inside and they were outside, and they shot her to death. Yeah. And so they actually, because this case is so fucking absurd and insane, these three cops were, I believe two cops were charged with murder. One is charged with manslaughter or something. Two at least are actually charged with murder. And the trial is starting now. But we're going to go back to an older story that talks about the details of what actually happened. So, Ashton, you got this?
So, we are going to San Antonio, Texas via WEAU. 3 San Antonio police officers charged with murder in fatal shooting of woman. 3 San Antonio police officers have been charged with murder in the fatal shooting of a woman who was experiencing what the city's police chief said was a mental health crisis. Sergeant Alfred Flores and Officer Eliezer Alejandro and Nathaniel Villalobos were suspended without pay and later arrested on murder warrants in the shooting death of Melissa Perez, 46, when she refused police orders to come out of her apartment. Police Chief William McManus said Friday one of the 3 charged officers opened fire. McManus said after Perez first threw a glass candlestick at the officer, then swung a hammer at them. All 3 officers then fired when Perez approached them again with the hammer, hitting her at least twice, according to McManus. Perez was suspected of cutting the wires to a fire alarm, a felony, at the apartment complex, and was talking to fire officials about 12:30 a.m. Friday when an officer approached and tried to get her to walk towards a patrol car, McManus said. Perez was speaking to a fire department official outside the complex when an unidentified officer arrived, and he is heard on body camera video calling, "Hey lady, get over here," with Perez refusing and walking away. It appears that Ms. Perez was having a mental health crisis, McManus said without offering further explanation, and she then ran into her apartment. The video then shows an officer on the patio of Perez's apartment removing a window screen as Perez shouts, "Stop it, and you ain't got no warrant." An unidentified officer shouts, "You're going to get shot," to which Perez replies, "Shoot me, you ain't got no warrant." The sound of glass breaking is later heard, followed by 2 volleys of gunshots. That is
crazy. Yeah.
Insane.
And this article is to me ridiculous. Like the art of this article, doesn't mention that, it doesn't emphasize, and it needs to be emphasized, that she was inside and they were outside.
Yes.
There was a wall, there was a door separating them. She was coming at them with a hammer. Also, she's one lady. There are like multiple
5.
men.
There's like 4 cops outside her house. They removed the window pane. They were literally removing the window pane off of her house, and it's like she's right. They don't got no warrant. As far as I know TV law. Like I'm like, if you ain't got no warrant, a cop can't come in your house, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna assume from the shit I've seen on TV. So she wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
She wasn't being. I
think probably they could argue because they were there because she was cutting
the wires for the fire alarm.
So I think they could and also not a lawyer, but I would assume that and this was part of the first day of the trial actually. This point was discussed of whether or not they could make an arrest. And I think you could argue they can make, I think that's what they argued, is that they can make the arrest because she was detained for allegedly cutting and then, she ran away or whatever. But yeah, they're they're taking the time to take apart the window to get in her apartment. and a lady first throws a candle holder at them, then comes at them with a hammer, and they all just start unloading on her. It's insane. No one, a regular person in this scenario would not think like, oh, this person needs to be killed right now.
And they were like, they knew they were responding to a mental health call, like a mental health crisis, and it's just like,
yeah, she was telling them, like when she was talking to them calmly before it escalated, she was telling them that the FBI is watching me. That's why I had to cut clearly
it's like,
suffering a
it's kinda
delusion.
Like, yeah. And my issue is, it's like 2025. Like, I don't know if you've seen like the fucking rates of depression this year of like at the highest levels they've been. It's like 18% of adults have depression, which is like exacerbated by the fact that they don't have access to mental health services. And so all these people who have like don't have access to mental health services, especially if you're like poor, you don't have it. And there's like 36 million people living below the poverty line, and so there's this many people. We have a actual mental health crisis going on in the country, with people with no outlets to get like actual help, and the only solution it seems to be is have cops come and shoot you, and kill you. That's the solution to solve the 18% of the depression and 18% of adults. So that's how you're dealing with the adults who have depression, or all these people who are poor and can't get access to mental health tools and stuff. You're just gonna shoot them.
Did someone say mental health crisis?
Yeah.
Clack.
Yeah,
It's literally. It is what the cops are trained to do, to shoot their way out of any situation, including a lady with schizophrenia. This San Antonio apparently does have a mental health unit, but they are not. It's not like what the controversial part of Zoran's campaign in New York is to have replaced the cops who show up to mental health calls with a mental health unit that consists of social workers, and if need be, a cop will come with them to ensure safety. But this is not even that. First of all, it's only 20 of them. Hilarious. They get like tens and thousands of mental health calls a year, and their mental health unit is 20 cops. But they're not mental health. They are cops. They are cops who got some added training, went through, like we were talking about last week, probably had some modules they did to get their training, so they could theoretically not shoot people with schizophrenia. But those were not one of those 20 cops were not the ones who showed up. Instead, it was their normal cops and this was the results we got out of that. Just it's ridiculous. Like it's almost more absurd to have like having no mental health unit is almost less absurd than having one that's made up of 20 cops and they're just cops. Like they're not. Yeah. They don't really have They might have some training. They don't have an education when it comes to this stuff. They don't have expertise.
All you did was give them therapy language to weaponize us against. They're like, actually, you're gaslighting me, which means I get to shoot you. So sorry. So that's the scary part.
But even more likely, it's probably some like online certification thing where you could skip through all the videos, and they were just trying to hurry up and print out their little
Space Invader keyboard type module where they're like learn. I'll just like the hammer. The fact that they keep bringing up the hammer is just like I cannot help it. Like, dude, it's like the hammer itself to me is just like such a symbol for police officers. It's like they keep going, be like, she had a hammer, and it's like, dude, your entire brain is a hammer. You only know how to do. Person having a seizure, hammer. I'm gonna pull out my gun. Tamir Rice, little boy playing with toys in the park, hammer. I'm gonna pull out a gun. Lady having a mental health crisis in her house, hammer. I'm gonna pull out a gun. So it's like it's funny that they're just like the hammer. Bitch, that's your brain is hammer. That's what you think. You think hammer. So it's like, God forbid she had a hammer in her house.
Yeah.
Don't nail nothing in your house while the police are around. No,
Yeah.
fucking,
If I was in a situation where I was trying to assist a middle-aged lady who's going through a mental health crisis, and I was outside and she was inside, and she had a hammer and she was waving at me threateningly, you know what I would do? Nothing. I would just stand there safely on the other side of a wall.
be like, shit. Luckily, there's a wall in between us.
Yeah.
Stop! And she just hits a painting.
Yeah.
She's like,
Oh.
oh wow! Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Let me reholster my weapon.
Woo! Would you guys like pie? You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You fucking ass wipes. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know,
It's like, let me cook you a steak. She's got a knife. It's like, God damn.
yeah, but you know, in what you know, what shocked me about this story, the cops being charged.
Yeah.
What didn't shock me were they were people of color. So I was like, duh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll punish these cops. Because
Exactly.
we still get to punish minorities.
The white chief.
Yeah,
Whatever happened to accountability?
You know what?
Whatever happened to that?
You know what we're gonna do this time? I'm smelling a little cop punishment. Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Now that we got
Some of these cops need to learn their place. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, we'll talk more about the trial as it unfolds. But yeah, insane story and obviously tragic story. So rest in peace to Melissa Perez. I know she had like a daughter in high school at the time. So just a tragedy.